Will we make it back before the rain? There's another storm predicted tonight though, so you can see this whole front moving its way across Greece. Hello and welcome back to To Get Lost. Last week we left Portahelly and headed for Nafplio. We had a bumpy sail there and a last minute change of anchorage when the one we were heading for wasn't safe.
Where you from, you sexy thing? Ooh, I'll be leaving Barrycones paving since you came along.
We got up early and walked into Nafplio to stock up on supplies. We had a bit of a shock when we checked the weather over an iced coffee. There were numerous huge thunderstorms heading our way, so we paid up and left pretty sharpish. Fun storm clouds. I think it's coming. Will we make it back before the rain? Cloud, blue sky. How long have we got till we get back, Adam? Another hour?
20 minutes, I think.
Apparently this is a 20-minute walk to town. Don't believe it. It's like 2-hour walk into town.
Beautiful though.
It's a really lovely
nice
walk, but not when this is chasing you.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun! Thunderstorm coming.
Could be quite spicy. Been looking on Blitzortung. It's the size of Greece, basically. So.
So we had a tiny bit of rain and a bit of thunder, and then it just completely cleared up and we've got clear skies and a beautiful sunset. Perfect. There's another storm predicted tonight though, so not so perfect. What have we been doing this afternoon, Adam?
Just like research and life admin and sorting our lives out a little bit. It's been quite nice actually.
You did some
preparing
work.
for my marketing meeting tomorrow. You've been making a video. Came and watched the sunset. Learned how to cast a fishing rod. Now we're going to play Spite and Malice. It's a really good card game.
Yeah. And we're going to eat peanuts and watch the sunset.
So this is Blitzortung, which is one of the weather resources that we use to try and stay on top of the crazy, unpredictable weather that we get here in the Mediterranean, especially towards the end of the season. What we're looking at is a map of historic lightning strikes as they occur. This is a free resource, blitzortung.org, and it's brilliant, especially if you're a bit nerdy about the weather like we try and be. So you can see this whole front moving its way across Greece, and white parts, wherever you see white, that's where it's just struck, and then it fades through yellow, orange to red in 20-minute increments. So we are currently here, sitting right in the path of this big old weather front that's moving through, and you ought to be able to see each one of the time one of these circles homes in, that's a new lightning strike. So it's all kicking off basically. We think we're somewhere pretty safe because we're surrounded by really high-lying land. Ordinarily the danger of a sailboat is that of course lightning will try and find a route to earth or sea, and you are basically a lightning rod sat in a big pool of electrolytes, lovely conductive seawater. So we've run to an anchorage where we're surrounded by tall trees, which is nice, tall trees, tall mountains, we're hoping for the best. So we're sort of just nervously watching this massive storm front move across.
The wind's like gone a bit crazy recently.
It's gone mad, it's fluking all over the place. We've got this crazy confluence happening where we get 20 knots from, which way, the north?
Yeah, we've got like 20 knots coming from the north and then suddenly 20 knots coming from the south.
From the south.
The boat doesn't know what's going on.
And then like a punch of 25 from the west, and then north, south, north, south, north, south, and then suddenly a punch from the west. So something we observed earlier by looking at the winds was there's a real anticyclonic pattern coming through, and we think basically we are just ahead of this front where the anticyclone is running. So we're getting this weird confluence of winds where it just flukes around all over the place. So it's interesting, but quite spicy out there. So yeah, we've got all the electronics in the oven, which acts as a nice old Faraday cage. We picked up a safe recently as well that somebody was just throwing away, which we've never felt the need to use for security in Greece. We've felt incredibly safe here, but we have put hard drives and things in there because if we lose all of our videos, that would be very sad. The slight complication is I've got a conference call. Hashtag digital nomad here has got a conference call in an hour, so we're sat here trying to work out how far away it is. A useful way of doing this, we can change the window, so at the moment we're seeing 2 hours worth of lightning strikes from white hot to pale red, so we can pull this slider back and go to, let's say, an hour. Then we get an idea of how far it's actually travelled in an hour. So with us being here, and it's travelled this far in an hour, it's probably around about an hour before the actual front will hit us. Maybe a little bit longer. Most recent strike to there. Most recent strike to there looks pretty much equidistant right now. So that's, yeah, probably about an hour out.
So it's well timed.
It's well timed.
It's going to hit exactly when your call is.
Exactly at the point where I, one, need to concentrate and two, need to put my laptop in the oven. It's going to start going chicken oriental out there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
maybe
It might
just
just die
nothing.
out. Yesterday it just died out. Yesterday we made the boat already and we were really nervous, and we were really nervous overnight too. I woke up like every hour checking this app, and then nothing actually hit us.
There is an effect, the name of which will come to me, that as it passes over the sea air, it cancels out a lot of its strength. So it's not impossible for it to hit this near part of the bay and just peter out before it even gets to us. But it hasn't got a massive run up to do that. It's got 25-30 kilometres to peter out.
It's made it all the way across the...
Over here we've got one just happily rampaging over the sea, so it may have lost a ton of strength when it hit the sea, but it's obviously not stopped yet. So yeah, another cool thing you can do if you try this out is you can switch, if you dig into the menu here, enable extended user interface using the checkbox at the bottom, you start to be able to unlock some really cool analytical tools. So we use time course here, which instead of just showing you the live lightning strikes will show you a historic map now as they travel across the land, which can be really revealing because when you look at the density map here, you just go, say the standard density map is here, and you just look at it and go, it's everywhere and it's unavoidable. But when you switch to time course, you start to see how the front actually moves. And we can see it's heavily concentrated up here. Okay, so we get a front sweeping up across the country, but predominantly it's actually moving north-northeast, which you would not be able to tell from the density map. So there is a chance that we won't even see it as you follow that. There's also a chance that it will just manifest again like it does at this point, right the way across the land, and we'll get walloped. But we've de-risked it as much as possible. So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
I don't mind so much the storm, it's the wind.
Yeah, we got a little bit spooked because maybe you'll see this in another video, but when we're in Portahelly, a lightning storm came in and it went from 0 to 30 something.
No, it was, it was 35.
Gusting, was it 35 sustained or gusting?
Yeah, it just literally went. It just went from nothing and it just went whoop.
But yeah, it was nothing. We had, 5 or 6 knots on the clock, and we went to 35.
And it sounded
sustained.
like the storm was ages away.
And it just came in, and you could see it coming because there was a sheet of rain that was just, so dense you couldn't see through it. Just came raging across the anchorage. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it, but
Here we go.
yeah, here's another big gust. We're also our portholes leak, which is just like all of our hatches and all of our portholes leak. So we're testing some methodologies for when we're going to lay the boat up over winter. We've taped a bin bag over one of them.
Which is not going to work. That's
we
great.
are technical here on Hot Chocolate. We've taped a bin bag over one of them, and the other one is covered in tin foil.
So it's making a nice... We've got like a musical instrument.
Yeah, it's rustling
On the
away
deck right
nicely. But we do need a strategy to stop a load of water ingress over winter while the boat's laid up, because that's the opposite of the reason we're doing it. We want to try and dry the boat out. So
We're worried about our anchor too if the boat keeps swinging around.
yeah, that's the other thing, because it's fluking all over the place. We've got this weird confluence effect. The boat has spun around on its anchor more times than I
so
can
many
count today.
times.
I don't think I'm exaggerating if I say 2 or 3 dozen, am I?
No, it's literally just turning in circles the whole time. It's
Like
just turning
clock.
around.
With our older generation anchor, we've got a Delta, which has actually done itself proud, but it's, when you look up the manufacturer's chart, it's like, half the size it's meant to be, if that. I think it's 15 kilos and we're meant to have 30.
We've been trying to get a new one, but we can't get one.
So not only is it half the size it should be, it's in their category for lunch anchor, which is having a picnic. As well as that, it is not a next generation one, so it doesn't reset. If it manages to unset, that's it, we're just going to drag it. So we're in a massive anchorage, we'll be safe, there's no major hazards, aren't really even any other boats, so we're going to
There
be
is a
all right.
massive super yacht, so if we drag into that, they probably won't be too happy.
Yeah, I don't know if
And neither will our insurance company.
Yeah, but hey, we can get the motor on. It's big enough even potentially to sail around this anchorage. It's huge. So we're going to be all right. It's just
Not very nice
we could do
waiting.
without it.
Especially when Plio
It's amazing.
Plio is so pretty.
Can't
We want to
wait
be
get
there.
back in. It's so pretty. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm a little bit in love with it. So
Adam's going to move there. Hot chocolate will be on the market soon. We're buying a house in Navplion.
I was actually just going to run Hot Chocolate up the beach. Just put a few lawn chairs out. Fine. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's mainly the timing that's bad, because I'm going to have to spend an hour and a half explaining my new marketing strategy for the next quarter and pitching for a budget and trying to get that past C-level executives while a massive storm rages overhead and wipes my hard drive. So it's going to be good fun.
It's good times. Good times.
So for all of you wondering what life is really like as a digital nomad, here is a delicious slice. Oh, it sounds like somebody's coming into anchor. Oh, and they're really tall. Amazing. Excellent lightning rod. Thanks, guys.
Today has been a less than good day. We've had thunderstorms, and then the wind has just spun round and round and round in circles, and now it's blowing us onto the shore, which isn't very good at all. And it's calmed down a lot now, but we were trying to decide whether to move, because there's not really anywhere with very good protection from the westerlies that are coming. And then we've probably got half a night of this, and then the forecast says it's coming from the south, and we're in a really good place to be sheltered from the south. So I'm really tired. I didn't sleep last night, and I don't really feel like making decisions like this now, and I don't really feel like another night of no sleep either. And Adam had loads of work to do, and he had a horrible work call. Well, it wasn't horrible, but he just really wanted to concentrate. And there was loads of thunder everywhere, and then the lightning was
was making all the power go out. It was just very stressful. I'm just really tired now. I could do with catching a fish, eating some really good food because we don't have any, and I could do with the wind stopping and the sea calming down so I could just enjoy this really pretty sunset. Please.
It's easy to show the highlights of living on a sailboat, but when we feel at our lowest, we often don't pick up the camera. This week of endless predicted storms and high winds, lots of sleepless nights on anchor watch, and lots of questioning whether the decisions we were making were the right ones, was a tough one. I wasn't going to include the footage. We're living our dream, and the dream of so many, and I didn't want to seem ungrateful for all the amazing things we have. But it's also important for anyone dreaming of living like this to see the downsides of living on a sailboat. The downtimes are a huge part of the adventure, and although they're hard at the time, we forget them quickly or look back at things we learned from the experience. For anyone interested, I wrote about living with anxiety on our website, and I'll leave the link below. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time for sunshine and laughter. If you enjoyed this episode, then make sure you subscribe to be notified of our newest videos, and join us on Facebook and Instagram for more up-to-date posts. A huge thanks to our patrons for all your support.